Hello, Divine Balance and Friends people. It's Maggie Palmer here, and I've got the lovely Anjo Adriani with me. And this is one of our first interviews. And we were just joking about how we both feel a little bit underqualified. I have maybe interviewed four people in my life, and I don't think Anjo's ever been interviewed before.
Uh-uh, not once.
No. And I'm not an editing master, so this is not going to be edited in any way. We haven't done a huge amount of prep. We have merely discussed Anio's timeline, which I knew reasonably well after 3 years of good friendship. And really, this is it's going to be a fairly short interview just to give people an overview of Anio's life and how she ended up working with me on this project. So I think without too much further ado, I'm going to hand over to you, Anio, to introduce yourself and maybe just to give us some broad strokes about the earlier part of your life. And we're just going to take it from here. And please don't judge if it's a little bit perfectly imperfect, because we're just human and we're not pretending to be anything else. But we hope you enjoy, and I hope that the people who need to see this and need to hear Anio's story, which is a very special one, get to see and hear it. Okay, Anio, over to you.
Thank you. Well, I'm Anjo Adriani. I am from the Netherlands and I had a happy childhood. Only child, closely connected to both my parents, but especially with my mum. My mum and I has always been a very special bond. And life went on until I was 16 and I felt very much drawn to Christianity. I, as they call it, gave my heart to Jesus. I became a very devout Christian and went to Bible school for 3 years, totally willing to do the work of the Lord and go that way until the path I was on in my life, it came to an end. I was going to work. I was working for an organization. This was still in the days that the Iron Curtain was there and Russia and Eastern Europe was closed for Christianity. Uh, I wanted to work in that line of work, and that all came to an end for several reasons. That gave me the opportunity to step out of it for a year and to go and travel through Australia. My uncle was living there and he had said for years, if you feel like coming to visit, know that you're always welcome. Well, I kept him to his word and I went over and there I met a country that I will love for the rest of my life. And the weirdest thing happened to me. I went there being at home. Everybody knew me as Anjo, Christian, Bible school, etc., etc., etc. Everybody had me filled in and colored in, and everybody knew, expected things from me, and I gave what they expected from me. But there, everybody I met, I saw for the first time. And to them, I was a white page. There's nothing, nothing, nothing on it. That gave me, it was a weird experience. I'm like, okay, so I can fill in that page any way I want to. And because of that situation, I slowly started to see how much of my Christian life was not mine at all, but was dictated to me by other people whom I respected and I thought they were talking truth. But the longer I was there, the more I knew. First, I just felt it, and then I just knew it. I can no longer live as a Christian, call myself a Christian, because I no longer am. And that was shocking. But as long as I was traveling, I didn't spend too much time. I didn't have the time to really think about it and really let it sink in. Yeah, then you travel through Australia and we went to Uluru, which we're talking 1989 now. I could still call it Ayers Rock, which is the British name, but it's called Uluru, and felt a very, very, very strong connection to that place. By now, I've learned a few things about that previous lives, etc., etc. Yes, there is a strong connection between me and Uluru. But after a year, I had to go back home. Coming back, was living with my parents again. And I still remember stepping into my bedroom for the first time, seeing my books, seeing my records, thinking, oh my God, if I want to, I can put on my whole Christian life that I have abandoned, but I can put it on like an old coat.
Yeah, like an old identity.
I talk the talk, I know the words, I know the language, I know everything that is expected from me. So in the first week that I was back home, I called very many friends and told them about the change that I'd made. And that was a shock to a lot of people. But okay, I couldn't change a thing about it. I didn't want to change a thing about it. And then came a few years where I really told myself, because I was back then, I was could be a very black or white person. Like if there is if Christianity is not real, that means God is not there. That means that's all bullshit. But then other things happened in my life. My mother got a brain tumor, and in those months, weeks, really the last weeks before she died, I knew I could no longer keep it up. Believing nothing is there, believing we're not created. I always thought, still do, that either we are created and everything is created one way or another, or we are all one glorious accident.
Yeah.
And to be honest, for one glorious accident, I don't have enough faith. I really can't. I really cannot do it. And then came the moment my mother passed. And at the very, very moment of her passing, I was looking at her head on a white pillow. And the moment she drew her last breath, I saw a golden light shining on her face. And I'm still convinced that had I looked over my right shoulder, I would have seen an angel. But I didn't look over my right shoulder because I didn't even realize the golden light. I was just watching my mother leaving this earth. And it was only later that day I saw it.
Mm.
There must have been an angel. And if there was an angel, there's more.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the change towards a totally different lifestyle.
Yeah. So opening back up to exploring faith and looking into what's beyond this life.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. For me, that meant that starting to read spiritual magazines,
Hmm.
reading stuff, I think, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I have no idea. But I was interested and to read a bit more. And then I bought, that was the first time, the Dutch magazine Spiegelbeeld. And there was an interview with the woman who introduced holistic pulsing in the
Yeah.
Netherlands. And I felt very drawn to it to follow a course with her. And well, that was the first real profound change. Like, whoa, you're following that course together with other people, and then things, it gets contagious.
So can you talk a bit about holistic pulsing? Because I've not heard of it before I met you.
Holistic pulsing, it is about moving, laying, someone is laying on the table,
Yeah.
and the pulsar is moving the body slowly, slowly, softly. It is the power of softness
Mm.
which brings you in a very relaxed state. You can go deep, you can go deeper. And it's beautiful to undergo it, to be laying on the table and feel it happening. And it's beautiful to do it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a holding space for somebody to go deeper
Yes.
into
Yep.
a meditative
Yep.
or
Yep.
a lightly altered state
Yes.
than they might on their own. Yeah. And it's the understanding then that once you reach that state, your body starts to heal itself.
It does. Then you
Mm.
give it the chance to do that
Yeah,
when it's possible, when you can put your mind in the
aside.
background and not
Mm.
in the foreground. That makes a hell of a change.
So what kind of experiences did you have on being on the receiving end of this particular method?
Well, that was the first experience there. That was, it was in a time that my husband and I separated, and I had been pushing the pain away and pushing the pain away because, oh my God, you don't want to let the pain come up.
Mm.
And then I was pulsed by the teacher that just happened to be, and I felt it. I knew it was coming when she came closer to the heart chakra. And the moment she started to pulse my body there, that was when the tears started to flow.
Yeah,
And that was a much needed release.
yeah. My first experience of Reiki was a big emotional release, a very quiet one. And you tell people about this, and it's almost like, why would I go and sign up to go and see somebody and have a good cry? Um, But the point is, it is a good cry because it's the release of all the stuff that we haven't allowed ourselves to feel because we
Yes,
suddenly feel safe enough in that moment with that
yes,
person to let go. And it's the
yes,
letting go that is the beginning of the healing, isn't it? So,
it is. It
yeah,
is.
wonderful. So, did you go on to become a practitioner?
No, 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 I didn't because, well, on the one hand, a total lack of self-confidence. Like, oh, I cannot do that. Yeah, I don't know enough. Oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah,
And on the other hand, I was, well, back then, I was an alcoholic in the making.
yeah.
But after a few years, I was no longer in the making. I was becoming more and more an official alkie.
What life stage were you at when that happened, or what year was that, if you can remember, if you can look back?
The alcoholism started in 1999,
Yeah,
the same time as my type 1 diabetes.
yeah.
That is all closely connected.
Hmm.
Uh, and this, did holistic pulsing, the first course in 2001. And then, like 2 or 3 years later, the alcoholism very slowly crept in, and I was able to deny it for many years, but there comes a point that you can no longer deny it.
What do you want to share about those years? Only what you feel comfortable to, but what was it
Oh,
like?
I had no secrets.
Mm,
Uh, Let's put it this way, I was a real one.
yeah.
At the end, yes, I went to rehab. And before I went to rehab in 2017, I was drinking 1 to 1.5 liters of whiskey a day. And it was seriously, I honestly thought if I had had a day where I drank 1 liter, I really felt like, oh, I only drank 1 liter. Oh, you see, it's not that bad. Come on,
Mm,
it's not that bad
yeah.
with me.
The ways we lie to ourselves just to
Uh-huh.
keep from
Oh,
facing the
yes.
truth.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And we all do it. Mm.
Yeah.
So what was the turning point where you realized I need to do something about this? This is a problem. You
I
couldn't lie to yourself anymore. What happened?
I had tried to stop drinking by myself because for years I thought I am the one who started, so I am the one who needs to stop. I don't need professional help. Come on.
Mhm.
And since 2014, no, late 2013, I tried to stop on my own. And each and every time I failed. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then it was, well, it must have been June 2017 when I was sitting. Um, I just woke up, sitting on the edge of my bed, having what I called my morning puke, because real alkies have their morning puke first thing when they wake up. And I was sitting there with my little bucket. And I realized and I said it out loud. You are never going to be able to stop on your own. You need professional help.
Right.
And that was the turning point.
Okay. So that was 2017.
That was 2017.
So what would you like to share about rehab, if anything?
I was in a rehab center in Castle Craig Hospital in Scotland uh, that I can recommend to anyone because it has helped me a lot. It's not easy, and anybody who wants to tell you that, oh, rehab is not that bad. Oh, it will be that bad at times.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
the whole time, but at times, yes. Because you go through hell and back.
Physically, as well as.
No, the physical part was I had the physical detox
Mhm.
here in Netherlands,
Okay.
and they did it with benzodiazepines. You see, you get medication
Mm.
that took away everything that I had grown used to, but stopping on my own for countless times, it means you're totally out of order for 3 days.
Mm. Mm.
Puking
Oh.
and having the shits like nobody's business and feeling utterly, utterly, utterly sick. And then after 3 days, you begin to remember your name and you can go on with life until the next time I fell flat on my face. And yeah,
So, how long do you think the rehab process took from start to what you would consider, well, I suppose at least leaving Castle Craig?
I've been there for 4 months, and that is
Four.
literally, that was the maximum time that our Dutch health insurance covers the costs.
And did that feel like long enough?
No, because it was long enough, but me being me, always thinking, oh, cannot do it, I'm not ready yet, of course. Then I also thought, oh, I can't do it, I'm not ready yet. But the people, my therapists who knew me, who really knew me by then, told me that, girl, you'll never get more ready than this.
Mm,
And yes, it is scary,
yeah,
but they believed I could do it. And to my utter surprise, yes, I could.
they, they were right.
I didn't have any relapses, and I had expected them. But
And am I right in thinking we're looking at about 8.5 years of sobriety now, or is it 9?
yes, yes,
Yep.
on August 15th, it'll be 9 years.
Gosh, okay.
So that's all.
Nearly 9 years.
Yep.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you and I, we met 3 years ago, and I'm quite happy to talk a bit about how we met,
Yes, good
because I
thing.
think I
Very
noticed
much.
you before you noticed me.
Yes.
But what can you say about the time before, in between getting back from rehab and picking up your new life and you and I meeting?
Well, that is learning, finding out that my spiritual life, I don't really like the expression, but for lack of a better word,
Words don't do justice to anything these days, do they? Unfortunately, we do our best. Yeah,
uh, I learned, quite quickly learned, that bottle of spirits does not go hand in hand with spirituality. It doesn't work.
yeah,
And now that there was no more bottle of spirits, spirituality got a chance. And that means that I got a chance to seriously work on that. And that the more that developed, the more it meant for me like seriously diving into myself.
yeah,
And that has been the way for me ever since.
yeah. So
Different ways with different things coming up, different old traumas, childhood trauma, it all comes up. But by now, I think I can say that yes, it is possible to
well, in the time that I've
transform
known
it.
you, in the
You
time
can
I've known
have,
you, you've done a lot of healing.
yes,
Um,
I have.
yeah. Is there anything you want to share about any modalities or methods that you came across, or tools, or information, or books perhaps that came your way in that time before we met that were particularly helpful?
Uh, Not really books. I've never been one to read very popular books like
No,
Neil Donald Walsh, etc. The moment everybody was reading it, I didn't want to read it. Don't ask me why.
probably a good instinct. Yeah. Hmm.
I think it's more the people I met,
Yeah.
and I met the right people at the right time.
Understood. Yeah.
That did more for me than books at that time.
Yeah. So you and I, well, I first remember seeing you um, in the private Telegram channel. of a lady we know who had a big YouTube channel who we both love to watch. And I remember going into that Telegram channel and seeing your comments coming up regularly and thinking, gosh, what a lovely soul and what a wise one. And actually looking forward to seeing your comments and just that, what I've come to describe, and I will probably use this term over and over again to the point where I drive everyone up the wall, but as instant recognition, where something about that person's words or turn of phrase, and I hadn't even seen you at this point, you just had a profile picture of a beautiful orange flower. I didn't
Yeah.
even know if you were male or female. I just knew that I loved the tone of the things that you were saying and the way you expressed your thoughts and your feelings, and definitely felt drawn to you. And then, we'd occasionally chat in that community. And it was later in a different community. So, a natural health practitioner that we were both very drawn to and wanted to work with had another private community. And I met you there. And again, continue to find that the things that you would say in the chat threads were of real interest and really resonated with me. Um, we both became sort of active, what would you call it? Sort of administrators really for that community. And we were doing customer service and sort of helping host events and that sort of thing. And got to know each other. And then the first big meetup event in person for this community happened in August 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, nearly at the beginning of
Late
August
August.
23.
Yep.
So we're talking about, in a week's time, it will be 3 years.
Yeah.
And I saw you, and my first reaction to you, and I was with Nick, my husband at the time. First reaction to you was, oh my goodness, she has got the same energy signature as my mum. And we had a hug, and it was a lovely hug.
Yes.
And we had a lovely chat, and we talked a bit about my childhood holiday memories of going to the Netherlands and going to Die Efteling
Yeah.
theme park. But it was just a feeling of homecoming to meet you, and the familiarity was so lovely. Felt like I'd known you forever. And when I walked away from you with Nick, I said to him, who does she remind you of? And he said, your mum. So it wasn't just me that felt that same energetic from you, and it was just so nice. Because my mum passed away, gosh, 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. Gosh, it'll be 12 years ago actually in a month. Um, so that was just, I don't know, it felt really special, and that began what I feel has become a very beautiful friendship.
Yes.
Um, where we just got to know each other, we worked together, but also you asked if we could perhaps do some healing work together, so we did, and you've just become, as well as someone I love working with in a healing context, and have loved to watch your journey of healing, which has only included me as a part of it. You've done a huge amount on your own, and you've done a huge amount with other wonderful healing practitioners that we know, um, who are also part of our little group and community, and who will be having their own interviews soon. Um, yeah, it's just a joy to spend time with you. It's a joy to hear your thoughts and your perspective. I will say to you, you're a wise one. And I love moments where I've come to you as a sounding board, just to thrash something out for myself. And you just are this wonderful presence, and you listen so beautifully, and you hold space very beautifully. And you always have very astute and very truthful words of wisdom to offer, always with kindness. Um, so yeah, you and I worked together on that project, and then that project we deviated from it at a certain point because it didn't feel like it was the right fit for us anymore. And then we started another project together, or at least I started another project, which you eventually became a part of.
Yeah.
And that was another community project. And unfortunately, that didn't go as well as expected, and it ended in October last year. But you and I, by that point, were running events and calls for the community, and we continued to do so because there was still an interest and people still wanted to gather, even though only a small number. And it's for the last 8 months, we've been sort of gently holding that together in a
Yes.
temporary way whilst looking for a new structure and a new way forward. And of course, in the last video I recorded myself for this channel, I mentioned how our dear friend Graham Atkinson passed away, and that was a rapid change and a big shock and a change of plans initially. But that we've come together now to take it to the next step, and that we have high hopes for continuing to do what we do, which we love.
And it's now known as Divine Balance and Friends. We've got an official name.
We do, we do. And we've seen, I think you would agree, please correct me if I'm wrong, in the time that we've been working together, both on the prior project and this one, that the community piece is so important for
Very.
certain people to really achieve the next level of, healing and well-being.
Yes,
And certainly I know that's true for me, which has been a huge driver in wanting to build and sustain what we've been making all along, because I've seen so much progress in myself, but also other people in our little group have done really well in keeping up their own goals.
yes,
And
yes,
it's lovely to see. And there's a certain magic that happens, isn't there, where we all get together and have a lovely time. So we just
yes,
wanted to take that further, and I guess that's what we're aiming to do with these little interviews and bringing out more content as we go, seeing where it leads.
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing all of that. You've
You're
had
very welcome.
In the last 3 years that I've known you, you have had a particular healing journey. I think of all the people I know, you've probably been the most dedicated to your inner work and your, let's call it psycho-spiritual healing, for want of a better way of putting it. But, exploring the non-physical as well as trying to heal and improve your physical health. Um, do you want to talk a bit about the healing journey you've been on in that time? Anything you want to say?
That's okay, but it's more like what you want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long have we got?
Yeah,
Um, well, perhaps keep it fairly short form for now, and we can go into much more detail at another time in a longer form interview. But maybe just draw again some broad strokes of what your healing journey has been like over the last 3 years.
one of the broad strokes, of the big lines, is that uh, I became aware of early childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It came to the surface, it came out step by step. Not all at once, it went slowly, baby step by baby step. That's the only way I can go forward.
Yeah.
And it came up, and I found the right people who helped me work with it, go into it, to go through it, to transform it. And that has been a great, great help. And I can say that now, today, that is all in the past perfect tense. No connection with today any longer because it's finished. It's rounded off. It's good.
It's released.
It's
Yeah. And what
released.
what are the key changes that you can see in yourself as a result of doing that inner work?
Learning more about me,
Hmm.
learning more about life, learning more about trust, learning more about love.
Hmm.
It is one learning curve. And if I look back, it feels like, yes, in a way, my life has been a 64-year long learning curve up to now.
Yes. Yeah. And you've just been so brave in tackling each new layer of work as
I
it's come
had
up
to.
from my
It,
observations.
I, it,
Mhm.
to me, it doesn't feel like being brave. It was just the only way I could go.
The only choice.
Knew I had to do it. What
Yeah.
was my heart at times shouting out at me if I was reluctant? Like, you need to do that. Okay, let's do it.
Couldn't ignore it. No, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm very, very, very happy I did.
Yeah. Well, it's just been wonderful to witness. So I had three questions that I wanted us to get into the habit of asking and
Yes.
answering when we do these interviews. And one of them I think you've pretty much answered. So it's the first one was, can you share how alternative or non-mainstream therapy has helped you in your own health and wellness process? And I think we pretty much covered that, haven't we? For now.
I think that no mainstream. either medical or psychological. No mainstream things have ever really helped me. And the alternatives that came on my path did help big time. So, yeah,
Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. So the second question was, how has community support impacted on your consistency in maintaining your health and wellness aims?
it is so important. I tend to be a bit of a hermit. Uh, Probably because I've been an only child. I was always used to be alone.
Yeah,
But I don't think we humans are made to be hermits.
not all the time.
We are made for communities. And I feel very, very happy in our online community. And it is important for me. It's not like it is my only reason to live, no, but it makes life a hell of a lot more fun.
It certainly does. Thank you. So, third and final question. Can you share? It's only a small one. Can you share what you feel comfortable to share about your faith with a capital F and how it supports and sustains your well-being? And it doesn't have to be only yes, that was a joke. Of course, it could be as big a question as you want it to be, but what's your relationship with faith now, and in what way does it support you or sustain you?
Faith is something I'm still learning.
Yeah,
Having faith, but it's no longer having faith in some external being or having faith in a church or in a preacher or in a teacher or having faith in others. It is all about having faith in me and not just personality I know, but having faith in what my heart is telling me. Because that is where the only place I believe where truth can be found. That is inside your heart. And that is a faith I am still developing, that is still growing. But yeah,
yeah, and I couldn't agree more.
good.
So, obviously, we'll have opportunities to talk again and to go perhaps into more depth about some of those experiences that you've touched on today. But I feel that that's a good introduction to who you are and what your story has been and how we've met each other and the work that we're now doing and our enthusiasm for that.
Yes,
So thank you so much for being here
you're
and
very,
sharing
very
all of that
welcome.
and overcoming the discomfort.
Oh, yes,
Because
it
you know
worked.
people don't realize how much one has to put oneself out of one's comfort zones to do these things
People don't realize,
necessarily.
people don't realize how nervous one single woman can be.
But you did such a wonderful job and it didn't come across, I promise you. So thank you so much, Anjo. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now and we'll be back soon. And
Yep.
sending love to anyone watching. Thank you for being here and take care.